Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Really good to see you all again. As I mentioned previously, I'll be doing an informative series on the myths of Bitcoin. And today I want to talk about the number one myth, that Bitcoin is for criminals. To be completely honest with you, the fact that Bitcoin was for criminals is the reason what took me so long to get into Bitcoin. I thought it was just something that people used to buy drugs. Obviously it is a bit more than that after further research, but we'll get into that in a bit. So disruptive technology like streaming via Napster or email was associated with illegal activities, but now we do it every day via Netflix or Amazon. It's not the first disruptive technology to be associated with nefarious activities and crime. It won't be the last, but it's completely wrong to associate those activities with something that's perfectly legal. And you know, Bitcoin first gained traction and notoriety with the Silk Road, which, as mentioned earlier, was a website on the dark web where you could purchase various kinds of drugs, illicit activities and all that, those kind of things. That website was actually shut down in 2013, and when it was shut down, roughly 144,000 Bitcoin were seized and sold. At today's value, that would be around $1 billion. So yeah, a lot of illicit activity went through via Bitcoin, but you know, that's in the past. That's over 5 years ago. Bitcoin's underlying technology actually works against criminals, as the digital ledger meticulously records addresses, and it tells us which addresses send and receive those transactions, and it includes the exact time and the exact amount, which would hold up as irrefutable evidence in court. Effectively, you can identify a person with a Bitcoin address if you've ever posted your Bitcoin address anywhere online, if you've ever traded Bitcoin for national currency via an exchange, as these exchanges have to follow strict anti-money laundering regulations. In fact, the UK Treasury has a 110-page annual report that places Bitcoin and other digital currencies at a significantly lower risk in money laundering and terrorism financing than cash. Now, if you've ever bought anything with Bitcoin, any merchants and payment processors do know your address, or they have secondary information that can lead to knowing what your address is. Or if you've ever used a thin client or a hosted wallet, that also requires secondary information about you to use those services. And also, if you've ever used Bitcoin without a VPN, a virtual private network, or Tor, as ISPs can ultimately intercept and monitor any traffic and identify you through a Bitcoin address. Now, there's also developments in the space. A Cambridge cybersecurity research firm, they're about to publish some software that will let you know whether your favorite Bitcoin was ever owned by Roger Ver or Mt. Gox. There's lots of work going into identifying where your Bitcoin have been, so we can trace them and eliminate the criminal element. Now, there's also the point that, you know, just because someone wants a privacy coin doesn't mean they're involved in criminal activities. If you've got a lot of digital currency, it's definitely within your interests to keep those transactions private. So, you know, you've got privacy coins like Zcash or Monero, and they get a lot of stick saying that criminals will be using these coins. And, you know, they probably do use those coins, but I would like to say that they use cash a whole lot more. Just because people do use those coins doesn't mean they're criminals. It just means they want to hide their transactions. And do I really need to talk about privacy when organizations like Facebook are selling their data to Cambridge Analytica to influence election results? Or your smartphone is probably listening to you and targeting you with ads? So, you know, I don't think I need to labor the point that privacy is important. Now, Bitcoin does have a lot more positive use cases for everyday people. It's a store of value in which you have full custody of the funds. It's a way to send money overseas without any remittance fees from third parties, and a way to distribute money to people like Syrian refugees, which they can access with an iris scan, ergo actually preventing crime from taking their cash vouchers or, you know, organized crime for trading those kinds of things in those refugee camps. In summary, as Jason Weinstein, the former head of the US Justice Department Cybercrime Division, said, criminals should run, not just walk away from Bitcoin. So that's a quick summary on the first myth of that digital currency and Bitcoin is just for criminals. It's definitely not. It's come a long way since those days. I'll be covering a few other different myths and different areas that we can we can really understand how Bitcoin has come so far in this time. I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, please like, please subscribe, and I'll see you soon.